You are attacked too. I mean, they call you names, sellout, Uncle Tom, crazy, you hate women, you hate men, you hate everything. How do you deal with that?
A lot of it's difficult. Lately, what I've been dealing with is like my YouTube channels will go down all the time. I had one with 750,000 subscribers. It was gone. Then another one with 500,000 gone. I can't keep an Instagram up. My Facebook pages are always suspended. My daughter's mom had to move because they put her address and phone number out. They put my 100-year-old grandmother's phone number and address out. My mother's church, they went to her church. They went to her job.
Wow.
Yeah, and these are all so-called black people that believe in freedom of speech whenever they're saying Black Lives Matter.
Are you surprised that they're so mean and nasty?
You would think I wouldn't be, but I believe in the kindness of humans. I mean, I grew up in a bad neighborhood and I've seen some of the worst things, but I just assumed that at some point in time we would, especially with all the kumbaya that's out in the public, that, you know, black people would be the people who you would look for comfort. But that's actually the opposite of it. I was talking to my mom, who's a pastor in Atlanta. When we grew up, we really didn't like white people. White people were evil. And then as I got older, I started to realize no black person ever gave my mom a job. No black person helped us get out of the hood. No black person did anything for my mom. So about 2 years ago, I had a discussion with her and she literally had to have a come to Jesus moment. I said, do you notice like everything that you do, even her church when it first started, white people allowed her to come and do it at their building until it got big enough to where she could get our own. And I said, name one black person that's ever given you a job in your whole life. And she said, well, that's because black people don't have work. And I was like, but you have something, I have something.
Yeah.
We can hire black people. Why do you believe we are the hardest people on each other? And I guess that's what I came to realize the more I did this, that I'm getting viciously attacked by the same people who claim to be victims.
Yeah. For the last 26 years, most of my troubles have come from black people. Most of the negative attacks have been from black people. I was surprised at first, but now I understand why they do it. So.
Well, help me out. Why? Because they expected us at one point to be like, oh, they're mad at each other. I was like, no, I'm a comedian. I make jokes, but I'm not looking to take another black man down, but they literally are. I had a GoFundMe up and they took the GoFundMe down because somebody said that I'm using the money to buy weapons.
That's amazing, man.
And they took it down. So now they're attacking the women around me, which is strange because they say I'm against women. So they're only trying to protect women, but all they do is attack women. There was a young woman who was on my show the other day, and she was talking about how she's a makeup artist and hair artist.
Right.
And she said she hated me when she first saw me, and I actually changed her to where she went natural. When she came on the show to talk about her change, she literally had to get off within 10 minutes. They put her phone number out during the live show. Then they kept calling her to make her Skype go down because she had her cell phone out. They put her address and she got so scared she wouldn't answer her phone.
Wow.
And she didn't respond back to me for 2 days. She said they were putting out my address. They were calling me saying that they were going to come kill me because I'm a fan of yours.
And speaking of women, you know, I've heard over and over that you hate women and that you especially hate black women and you call them the B word and I've never heard you call them B word. Do you call them?
Oh, I do.
You do?
I'm not going to lie about that. I call them bossy all the time. No, I'm just kidding.
And so first of all, just for the record, do you hate women or black women?
No, I don't hate black women. What I look at it is they're the ones who have been in control for the last some odd years. And they've been proud of it, saying that they're the backbone of the community to the point of where people said in public and Barack Obama said it.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be the coach or you're going to be the GM of this team, if the team is failing, where does the blame lie? So they get mad that I point the blame at them, but they stand up every day, say they don't need a man, I'm independent, I run everything.
Right.
Can't be the boss without paying the cost.
Do you regret in the way you talk about black women?
No, because I don't think they would have listened to me. I remember being in high school and college. I remember the first time I tried to date a black girl. I was in college, first time. And I walked up to her and I thought, well, talk to white girls this way, I'm going to talk to her that way. And she was walking into this place called Little 5 Points in Atlanta. And I said, hey, excuse me, miss. She kept walking. I said, well, maybe she didn't hear me. I said, excuse me, miss. And she turned around and she said, I know you didn't, and walked off. And so people were looking at me and they're like, ooh. And I was like, ooh. So that was like, I was like, this is a different animal. And so no, I don't, because when you're nice to them, they don't listen. You have to understand, and I hate to say it this way, there have been girls who's like, I hate him. And then they'll fly out to Arizona to spend the night. So why is that? Why would an individual who listens to you use these words? But then again, look at all the rappers who use B, H, and all this stuff, and look how many baby mamas they had.
Yeah, that's right.
I remember in college, there was these guys named Qs, Omega Psi Phi. Well, they are the most vulgar dudes on campus. And if you go to the step show, all they do is use B, H, and any other word. And yet the girls would stand up and be like, ooh, that's my boyfriend. There'd be like 5 of them saying, ooh, that's my boyfriend. And then they get to fighting over him.
Yeah.
And I just thought to myself, it doesn't work. What's normal in every other community, which is sad, is not normal in ours. It just isn't.
When I interviewed you on my radio show and you opened up honestly about your emotions and you know, sometimes you felt like a woman because of that emotion, and are you still feeling that way or have you gotten over that?
I didn't feel like a woman. You got me in trouble by saying that. You got me up there like I'm Shania Twain. It's not what I said. I was like, I'm gonna get it back for that.
You said and that you are more and that you are more like a female than a male.
A lot of our actions, yes, a lot of the actions that we do, because if you're raised by a lot of women, you respond the way they do, even though it's not helpful. And I try to explain this to people. Imagine, if you're a boy and you watch your mom, like mine. My mom used to watch, she's gonna hate me for telling the story, but she used to go into the store, and back when I was young, they didn't have scanners. They had the little tags on them for the prices. Yeah. But she would tear one tag off of something cheaper and put it on something expensive. And the white people would be like, ma'am, we don't think that refrigerator's $3.99. And she'd say, well, that's what it's saying, you better. And she would act a fool, and to the point of where they would be like, just take it, take it. So the guy, as a boy, you say, well, that's all you have to do is act a fool, and people give you stuff, but you don't realize, no, you're a man. You act a fool, somebody gonna punch you in the face. Like they show you on television right now, women get mad at you when they're on cheaters. If they catch a man cheating, they get to slap him in the face. Isn't that amazing? If you catch a woman cheating, you can't slap her in the face.
I know. That is so crazy to me.
Mm-hmm. So as a man, you don't get the understanding that, well, you can't act like that. A lot of brothers are dying because they're acting like women. Their responses are like women. You can watch them online right now. They're arguing, talking about clothing like women. Almost everything they do is just like their mothers.
Most of my attacks come from men who are attacking me in the way that a woman would attack me. You know, it's not like manly at all. What is a man?
I think a man is a person that doesn't make excuses for his life. A man is one that says, I just want the opportunity to build and take control of my own life. Most people, women want the help of someone to give them something.
That's for sure.
A man's like, no, because if I see whatever lane you're in, I want to create my own. Like if you notice what men and women do, if you have a beautiful wife, I want to get one more beautiful than yours. If a woman sees a woman with a nice husband or a handsome husband, she wants her husband. So our mentality is different. So as a man, I just think it's someone who wants complete autonomy in his own life to make his own way.
Do you feel like a man?
Right now, yes.
And what does a man feel like?
Like every day you wake up, it's a new challenge for you to help build something for someone else. I love creating opportunities for people. To me, that's a man. I love showing somebody else how I got through this area, like a Lewis and Clark, so to speak. Like you build the trail and they follow. That's what a man is. So I wake up every day and I feel good because I've done something that no one else had done. Man, think about how quick they want to kill us coons.
Whereas a real man, if he saw something wrong or disagreed with you, he would reach out to help you. You know, is there anything I can do? You're seeing this wrong. Blah, 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 right?
Right, talk it out. Conflict resolution is something we usually aren't given as black.
That's right.
Why do you think they're shooting up at the club? Somebody disrespected them.
Absolutely.
And they come back and they shoot the club up.
But they don't know that that's the nature of their mothers and grandmothers. I want to ask you, I saw the film yesterday where you talked about that movie.
Birth of a Nation.
Birth of a Nation. And that's another movie that moved you. Why did that movie move you emotionally?
Because it wasn't the typical, a lot of the movies are basically aimed at you should hate white people. This one was more of self-reliance, like I was saying about what a man is. This was a man who did something, did it for what he thought was the right reasons, realized it wasn't the right reason, and took his future into his own hand. Now, it didn't end well for him, but neither did Braveheart. To me, it was like black people's Braveheart, except for it wasn't received like Braveheart was received. It wasn't looked at like any other revolutionary movie was looked at. Even something in the vein of Rocky. Rocky didn't win, but the fact that he fought.
The thing I didn't like about, I didn't see the movie, but I saw the interview about the movie on 60 Minutes, I believe. Yeah, Sunday on 60 Minutes. You know, black people, not all but most, are very angry. They have a lot of anger. And they'll pass that anger on from generation to generation to generation. And they're blaming white people for their anger, whereas it really starts in their home. But because they don't forgive their failing parents, they're being told that it's the white man, it's racism, bunch of lies.
Well, white people aren't helping. The biggest problem black people face right now is fatherless homes and white guilt. Stop feeling sorry. If you don't
tell the truth.
Right. Like I walk in an elevator and there's two guys standing in there with their pants sagging. Guess what I'm going to do? Wait for the next car. I'm not getting in there.
That's
and I'm
right.
not trying to. And I'm black.
That's right.
Than them.
That's right.
So
I'm not the same way.
Yeah. So I'm not stupid. Like whenever I walk past a car and a woman locks the door, why am I going to use white guilt to tell her, why are you doing that?
That's right.
I lock my door when I go in the house and I live around a number of white people. I still lock my door. I don't understand how white people are allowing the white guilt. The white man is at fault right now. Why? Because he's allowing women to run over him, blacks to say whatever they want to. I can get on television right now on Fox and say anything I want about white people. I can say kill whitey, they won't block it out.
Right, that's right. So do you agree with me about what I said about the man not being there to protect his family? Because before the men were there, things worked out. Now that they're not there, the family is falling apart and the kids are going wild.
Well, they had segregation too, so blacks had to trust each other.
Yeah.
You don't have to trust each other now. Like they say, white ice is colder than black ice, apparently.
Yeah.
If you look at black people, you try to do business with a black person, what's the first thing they do? Try to tell you, well, what can I get? Can I get a discount, brother? Oh, you a brother.
That's
Never talk to white people like that. I've never seen a black person walk
man.
up to a white guy and say, come on, bruh.
That's so true. So, what do you want for black people? What are you trying to do? What's your primary goal?
To get them to, you have to love yourself before you can get anyone else to love you.
Yes.
And right now, if you look at it, black people don't love themselves. Look at black families. When someone's in jail right now, they will get together money every month to make sure he has his commissary.
Right.
But the boy who's in college, who's struggling, the families don't get together and say, let's make sure he has money every month so he can buy books, so he can eat, so he can stay in that school.
Yeah.
And what does that tell you about the dysfunction of the people?
But, yeah, and you're right about that, but that's not going to change until the men change and return to their proper state of being so they can guide their women and children. And so we need to understand what's wrong with them. Don't accept it as a norm, but why is that way? So that we can start teaching our boys too, so that they can start changing that. Because these women are not having good fathers, and so they end up hating their fathers because the mothers are turning them away from their fathers. And then they go out and meet men who are just like fathers, so they hate the men. But if we don't become strong and righteous so that we can start changing that, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse.
Well, we have to learn how to control our libido. Right now, what they have over us is they teach us at a young age, and this is sad. Women are teaching the young men this. If you don't sleep with a bunch of chicks, then you're not a man.
Right.
Black men think that the only thing that makes them a man is something big and shiny,
right, and
his ability to sleep with a bunch of chicks. The women have you at that point. They have you because they have that thing that you need to feel like a man.
In closing, do you agree with me that the black men need to change so we can help them change?
Yeah.
Cause them to change?
Yes, you need to take your balls and go home.
No.
No, you need to make it difficult for them, though. Seriously, you need to say, I'm not going to just sleep with anyone.
Yeah, we need to cut out the sex thing, be upright men, so that we can show them how to overcome that anger, because the love that's in the man is powerful. It can change things. It's not an emotional love, so it can change things. So with the right correction, we can change that anger that's in them by showing them how to overcome it.
We need power, though. Look,
and the power
you
is
see the same
love
black woman who's mean and everything. Get her with a white dude, she becomes Betty Crocker.
Yeah,
I've seen it. Look at Eve. Eve was the rapper when she was dating black dudes. She was a pit bull in a skirt. She called herself this.
Who is Eve?
Is a rapper who used to be a stripper.
Oh yeah.
Now she's married to a billionaire white man, and she literally got on television and said, he was the first man that could tame me. She doesn't speak with her New York accent. She sits up there like this, and she tea and crumpets.
But they'll do that for us too when we get ourselves together.
You see them brothers with money, and the woman's still hood.
But they're weak.
That's what I'm saying.
The brothers are weak. I'm concerned now that you're going to give up, and I'm hoping that you don't.
I'm not going to give up. I might switch up. I might get like a body double or something and just tell them what to say, like a teleprompter, be like Obama. No, I'm not. Look, I just may go a different route. Because right now I'm too accessible, to be perfectly honest. I thought that was going to be my thing. That was my thing. I'm accessible to the people.
Right.
When I do my shows, when I'm done with them, I will spend 3 hours responding to emails to make sure everybody feels comfortable.
Yeah.
It's a bad thing. So at the end of the day, I have to change my MO.
Did you have fun today?
I did.
Yeah.
No, I really enjoyed it.
Oh, good, man. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, brother.